Sounds good. Hi. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? All good? Thank you for joining us today. So we are presenting something that we've been doing in the Blue Solutions Initiative. So I'm Cécile from IUCN Global Protected and Conserved Areas Program. And I will be co-facilitating with my colleague Tilanka Senerivitne from GIZ. We'll spend this hour together talking about peer-to-peer knowledge exchange. So we all know the importance of capacity building, as it can be, it's often a need and it can be a success factor. But there are many formats and many ways of doing that, and peer-to-peer knowledge exchange, we think, is a very powerful mean to transfer and exchange knowledge. We believe that, like many others, that one's peer voice is actually very powerful, because peers live the same reality and they know what you are talking about. They have been through the same challenges. So somehow, if someone or one's peer has a solution in hand, then it seems that it's easier to transfer, to be inspired, to understand how I can adopt and implement the solution in my own context. But sharing solutions seems easy, because in theory we think that, well, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are good examples out there. We can be inspired. We can upscale them. Yet in reality, it is not always the case, because practitioners are really busy with their agenda. They have other priorities. They don't really have a lot of time to look around, especially beyond their own network, for solutions. And what happens often is that they will meet and exchange on issues, and sometimes nobody really has a solution directly ready there. So we need sometimes to go see for solutions somewhere else, but where and how? So that's a bit what we wanted to facilitate. We thought we could support that by collecting and publishing solutions on one platform, which is called the Panorama Solutions for a Healthy Planet. I won't be able to discuss this or to explain about this a lot, but it's like an online free access portfolio of solutions. So practitioners can go there, they have filters, and that they can look for good examples, good practices. And with Blue Solutions, so we have used this platform, and we have deliberately activated connections between practitioners so that they can exchange on very targeted best practices. So we'll present today 2 examples of what we have been doing so far. So now let's close our eyes and imagine we're going all the way to Malaysia, north of Borneo in Sabah, and we land in Tun Mustafa Park. So Tun Mustafa Park is a very big marine protected area in Malaysia, and they want to go on the green list journey. So that's the IUCN standard for for protected and conserved areas, management effectiveness and good governance. So their team, supported by WWF Malaysia, decided to do first a gap analysis to check what they had already and what challenges they still faced against this standard of the green list. And they also thought of potential ideas for solutions to address the challenges that they have in the park. And then we worked together to identify good examples that are aligned with their needs and expectations. And we found suitable solutions on the platform, on Panorama. And then we organized and facilitated about 7 meetings, bilateral meetings, all online, with practitioners that had an interesting solutions for them. Unfortunately, the people from Malaysia were not able to come, so they kindly prepared like a pre-recorded interview, and we are going to listen to them now.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Agustin from Sabapax. Before we dive deep into our discussion today, so can you please introduce us to Tun Mustafa Pak?
Okay.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Agustin from Sabapax. Before we dive deep into our discussion today, so can you please introduce us to Tun Mustafa Pak?
Okay, Tun Mustafa Park is a marine park which is located in Sabah, Malaysia, and it is managed by the Sabah Parks Board of Trustees. So this park covers a water body of close to 900,000 hectares at the northern part of Borneo Islands, where South China Seas and the Sulu Seas meet. And it also shares our national boundary with the Philippines. It was established in 2016, May, and with three objectives, which are to preserve the marine biodiversity, to promote sustainable fishery, and to help alleviate the poverty amongst the surrounding communities. So apart from being an IUCN Category 6 park, TMP is also a multi-use park that not only allows several activities such as fishing, tourism, shipping in it, but it also is managed with collaboration from key stakeholders, including the communities. Having established just a few years back and due to category multi-use park, we are facing a lot of challenges. Amongst them are the need and skills and knowledge for managers to manage a park of this nature and magnitude. We are also lacking in enough staff and assets to manage, to conduct management program and effective enforcement. And there are also threats from coastal developments such as runoff and pollutions. And the other one is the implementation of the business plan to achieve financial sustainability.
Thank you, Mr. Agustin. So can you explain further, how do you plan to overcome these challenges? Oh, this is based on the collaboration with Blue Solutions Partnership.
So to tackle these challenges and in line with Sabah Park Strategic Plan 2025, we forged a collaboration with WWF Malaysia. And one of the steps that was taken under this collaboration was to register TMP for IUCN Green List recognition. Because if TMP is recognized as a IUCN Green List Park, it will also reflect its success in achieving the objectives. We were very thankful that Blue Solution steps in to collaborate in the process. First, by encouraging that a gap analysis be conducted for the MP to identify these challenges, advise us on the prioritized solutions. After the prioritized solutions were done, we were further assisted by Blue Solutions by connecting us with several managers from other parks around the world that have similar challenges and have been successful to overcome them.
Can you please explain what benefits do you see in peer-to-peer knowledge exchange?
Okay, the sessions or the peer-to-peer exchanges, I found them to be they are very friendly, and then they are helpful professionals around the world that we engage with were truly beneficial, truly inspired us. The way it was conducted online helped the exchanges of valuable ideas, very focused and more effective. Most importantly, the valuable aspect of the exchanges is the expertise, the hard work, and the professionalism of Blue Solution facilitators. And I have learned that solution to challenges could be efficiently derived online by listening to real experiences and stories from other parks. By learning from the experiences, including their failures, we can also avoid similar failures. I also learned that there are several approaches and options to solve the challenges that we face here.
So, Mr. Agustin, what would you recommend to other MPS managers or to global organizations, partnerships, donors, based on your experience with Blue Solutions?
Based on my experience with Blue Solutions, my recommendations to other MPS managers, I truly encourage them to get acquainted, first of all, with Green List Standard. And then after that, establish a collaboration or network with Blue Solutions, because this is one of the best platform and approach to increase the capacities of protected area managers. This method is best, I believe, to be promoted and scale up not only for IUCN Green List program, but expanding it to the Coral Triangle regions.
Thank you, Mr. Agustin. I guess that's all for our pre-recorded interview. We see you in the next session.
So I'm happy to go to the next section after hearing about this very inspiring story from To Mustafa Park, and that is the Blue Champions Award. So the Blue Champions Award was initiated by the Blue Solutions Initiative in collaboration with the Panorama platform. So Cecile has already introduced you to the Panorama platform. It is an online knowledge hub which holds a vast number of solutions, and we, Blue Solutions, is the coordinator of the marine and coastal thematic community of the Panorama platform. And so the initial idea behind the Blue Champions Award was that online we really found that we have so many great solutions, and we wanted to put a spotlight on the knowledge that already exists and really value technical expertise from practitioners on the ground who have been doing it all along. So we want to learn from what works and really show that the knowledge some practitioners might be seeking may already exist online. So it is really true to Panorama's philosophy to not reinvent the wheel, but to start working with, to start working and learning with practitioners. So how did we do that? In spring 2021, we launched the Blue Champions Award, and that was really to seek practitioners who found a solution or building block on the Panorama platform and who were inspired by a solution on the platform and wanted to take either a whole solution or a building block, that means like a puzzle piece of a solution, and implement it in their own context. So they saw similar challenges and saw a solution to their own challenge and wanted to implement their solution in their own context. We were also seeking for practitioners who already have a solution at hand from long-lasting experience and wanted to upscale what they are already doing to a larger scale. And we did that by having a small grant mechanism, so it doesn't only support practitioners technically but also financially. So it gives practitioners a means to learn from each other, to replicate solutions, and to also broaden their technical expertise and upscale solutions. So in the end, we were really happy to receive a vast number of applications, and we selected 5 Blue Champions in the end, who really showcased the aspect of peer-to-peer exchange and valued learning from others, as well as transforming their knowledge into other projects. And we're happy to have solution providers from all over the world. So we have Honduras from the Coral Reef Alliance. We have the Save the Waves Coalition in Costa Rica. We are also joined online by marinecultures.org. They are based in Tanzania, but the Blue Champion project will be implemented in Tunisia. We are very happy to be joined in person by Oceans Alive Trust from Kenya, and also the Omkar Foundation in India. So we have 2 Blue Champion projects out of 5 in person here, and the 3 others have prepared a little video, and we are happy to show that to you now so that you are introduced to the Blue Champions projects.
My name's Trent Hodges. I'm the Conservation Programs Manager for Save the Waves Coalition. We're a small international nonprofit based here in Santa Cruz, California. And the project that we're going to be focusing on with the Blue Champions initiative is the World Surfing Reserve in Playa Hermosa, Costa Rica. Save the Waves, in partnership with the World Surfing Reserve in Playa Hermosa, is really excited to implement the World Surfing Reserve and Surfonomics project in Playa Hermosa, Costa Rica. And essentially, we know around the world that coastal ecosystems are threatened by various global issues, including climate change, plastic pollution, coastal development, all the impacts with climate change, sea level rise, and there's a dire need to protect these precious coastal ecosystems. And at Save the Waves, we see that surfing can be a really important aspect to conservation of marine coastal ecosystems. There's over 40 million surfers around the world. The number is growing by the day. And these are some of the folks who are on the front line of these coastal ecosystems, sometimes are the first to stand up to protect and defend them. So the concrete goals essentially of this project are kind of built upon the building block that we put into the Blue Solutions platform, the Panorama platform. At the end of this project, we'll have two really great products, essentially the kind of building blocks of the Sustainable Coastal Development Plan and a really robust academic analysis of surfing and its impact on the economy in Playa Hermosa.
Good morning, my name is Tania Amaya. I'm an environmental engineer, and I'm currently the Bay Islands Program Manager for the Coral Reef Alliance. The project I'm going to talk about today is scaling up sanitation in the Bay Islands. That's the initiative that we presented for the Blue Champions Awards. The mission that brings us together as coral, and also what motivates our partners, is to save the world's coral reefs. But we know that we cannot start with the entire coral reef in the world, but we can focus on what we have in the Bay Islands, specifically in Roatan. So one of the missions that we also have is to provide clean water, not just to promote the health of the coral reef, but also to support the population, make sure that they are healthy, and also to make sure that the tourism assets that everyone enjoys are sustainable and are well kept for many, many years and many generations to enjoy. There's a set of benefits related to the ecosystem, and another one that's related also in creating some models that can be replicated to guide future policies. And I think that that's the beauty of the whole project, that you can branch out the benefits and they can provide more options and potential for scaling up.
My name is Christian Vaterlaus. I'm a project manager and business developer here in Zanzibar, Tanzania. We develop aquaculture forms, sustainable aquaculture like sponge farming. And we got the opportunity to have a new project, a project of change in Tunisia, where we will try to establish and scale sponge farming to the Mediterranean Sea. While sponge diving has been practiced for centuries in Tunisia, the successful cultivation of sponges has been reported in 2008. But attempts to transfer the sponge cultivation know-how to the Tunisian fishers has been challenging. This is where marinecultures.org and our experience comes in to develop communal low-cost sponge farming in the region in Tunisia. Our project is thanks to the trophy money from the Blue Champion Awards planned for August or September. And we will work with the Tunisian fishermen of Zarzis, Kerkena, and Djerba. That are three small islands in the Mediterranean Sea near the Tunisian coast to build up ecological cultivation of bass sponges. Last but not least also our organization, marine cultures, get the benefit if we are able to scale successfully our blue solution. I think that's an important thing for us, for ourselves.
Okay, so this was a brief introduction to 3 Blue Champion projects out of 5, which I think shows the diversity of the Blue Solutions and the Blue Champions projects. And now, without further ado, I'm happy to pass the floor to Dr. Balaji Vedarajan from India.
My name's Trent Hodges. I'm the conservation.
Good afternoon all, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. And I would like to talk about how we integrate a mangrove restoration project with the very basic needs of local community. So Blue Solution is important. When we joined with Panorama Solutions nearly 6-7 years before, and it helps us to get a good exposure with the international community. So we show the Panorama Solutions link to the funding agencies, so we get more funds. So it's slowly improving with the years. It also helps us to learn peer-to-peer learning experience. There are different solutions that are suitable for our places also. And recognizing Blue Champions Award in 2021 is a real difference, and it's a global recognition for our grassroots work. And financial support from mangrove restoration, we have been still trying our best to get support because the area is vast, and we hope it will be expanded in future years. So how we started with, we started in the beginning with livelihood support for mangrove restoration. In the like 15 years before, when I was a student, I started this NGO. Then we first started with planting mangroves with the community. We initially given some technical training like how to make candles or tailoring, but later what happened was the people couldn't use the technology for the daily livelihood. Then slowly we understand that there should be a locally available livelihood support they can use every day without any proper training. So the people usually they grow goats and chickens in the backyard. So we wanted to give them chickens and backyard as a gift from our organization. So once the family receives the goat, and after 6 months they have to give back the first goat kit to our organization. Then we donate to other families. This is how the replication of goats slowly through our organization in a systematic way reaches every houses in the villages. And slowly then we ask the people, if you want to receive the goat, you have to plant some mangroves with our organization. So they grow the backyards, some mangrove plantations in the mangrove nurseries. And we use the discarded fishing nets from the coastal villages to use a fence around these backyard nurseries. So it helps to clean the plastics from the coast. It grows some mangroves and it gives the livelihood. And when the goats breeds, and slowly it's expanded to other families. So this is a concept, a very basic concept, and this is the long-term impact we would like to see. And the immediate goats are immediate support the families are getting. So this photo we take like 10 days, 15 days before, and we recently through Blue Solution support, Blue Champion Award, we donated 100 goats to underfisher families, and immediately the mangroves are growing in the backyard. This photo was also taken in July 21 and August 21, and through the Blue Champions support, and we grow mangroves in nurseries, and it's growing. And this is our project, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Balaji, for the presentation of, I think, this very inspiring conservation project, which also has gender inclusiveness in it. So thank you. And now I'm happy to pass over to Oceans Alive Kenya, to Ledama Matsitsa Desbauden and Mercy Mbogo.
Good. Well, my job is a very easy one. Just to say thank you very much. Very proud to get the award. The funds are massively useful in what we do, community-based resource management, working with communities all over the Kilifi County on the Kenya coast. Our journey started about 20 years ago when we started the first locally managed area in Kenya. And from then it's gone strength to strength into these co-managed areas that we're working on today. So I'd just like to say thank you and how useful this money is in helping us do our job today. With that, I'll just hand over to my team and they'll explain that thing a bit more. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. So with the Blue Solutions Award, it now led us to conduct our Blue Champions project. And through the Blue Champions project, we are now taking our experience with working in community conservation areas and community marine conservation areas and locally managed marine areas, and seeing how we can make this more sustainable and take it and expand its impact further down the coast, but also within the community itself. And so with this Blue Champions project with us, one of our main goals was to really drive the community's involvement in increasing the capacity, not only within the area, but also for other communities as well. And one thing is, which can make a difference between whether your project continues on for generations or whether your project stops just as soon as you leave, is whether you involve the community. And that is one of our goals, which we as Oceans Alive try to implement in everything we do, and especially in this Blue Champions project. And it is really looking at the internal underlying governance system of the natural resource, which is the marine resources on the coast. And it is to take this approach and to really target it towards sustainable management of marine fisheries, which touches on the social, the environmental, the economic, and also governance. And through this as well, bring awareness that all this and just the underlying factor of this can really lead to an improvement. Now the issue is with the turn of the century in Kenya, we'd have a 10-fold increase in the population. Now, if you have a 10-fold increase in the population and around 40,000 fishermen just in our Kilifi area, paired with fisheries mismanagement and a lack of management, you can only imagine the impact that that has, not only on the natural resource, which is the fisheries, but the people who depend on that natural resource. And so this mismanagement came in the form of use of illegal fishing gears, lack of regulation of certain fishing grounds. With the use of illegal fishing gears, you have damage to the coral and the seagrass ecosystems, which are vital for the fish and their breeding. And paired with the effect of climate change, especially the bleaching event of 1998 and 2016, which led to 90% coral bleaching in our area. And that is on the inshore, and the majority of fishermen conduct their fishing inshore because the capacity to fish offshore is not there. So you can imagine the risk and the vulnerability that is coming with these issues. And as I said, paired with poor management and poor regulation implication, it really puts the area and the people living it in a very vulnerable position. And that is where the Blue Solutions and the Blue Champions project came in. And in 2007, the government, and also following from our locally managed marine area establishment in 2003, they implemented some regulations on locally managed areas. But since then, there hasn't been much of following up with this, and they really pushed for the establishment of beach management units. But since then, there have been very few beach management units which have been established, and we need to ask ourselves why. Because it is positive to establish them, but why have they not come to be? Why are they not being seen on the ground? And so with this now, what we're hoping to do, or what we are doing currently, is, as I said, driven by the community. And this is done also through attaining security of tenure. Now, why is security of tenure important? Because it brings user rights. If you do not have the user rights, then it's very, very difficult to manage an area. You can put so much resources, you can put so much regulation, so much time into protecting an area and taking care of it. But without security of tenure, someone else can come and really do what they want there as well. So security of tenure, especially for the communities which rely on this natural resource and live in this area, is very important. Without it, it leaves them very vulnerable, especially in a developing state, in a developing country. And so we see that as the foundation on which to now build community-based natural resource management. And through this, and using also our experience in 15 years plus of working with community-based fisheries, we have developed a 6 policy principle steps to attaining this security of tenure, which is the platform on which to jump off into effective fisheries management. And this can also be applied to forestry, agriculture, and other aspects. So first is to establish a legal entity. In this case, it will be the BMU or the fisheries group, whereby they can sue and they can be sued. And that comes with starting to get more ownership of this area. Secondly, it's establishing the jurisdiction, where you know the boundaries of which you have the mandate to protect, the mandate to manage. Third is a resource assessment, knowing what is the state of our natural resource. What do we have? What don't we have? What is being damaged? What do we need to do? That is very important because, as I said, it influences the decisions made. And followed by a co-management plan with what you know within your area. How are we going to manage it? How are we as a community and the stakeholders around us going to come together, set in place a goal, and proceed to achieving it? Followed by bylaws. What are the regulations going to be for how we interact with this area? How are other people going to come and interact with this area? These being influenced by the plan. And followed by this, you have security of tenure. And yeah, so with that, I always say you can teach someone to fish. They'll fish and they'll eat for a while and a long time. But if you teach someone to fish, you can have a community eating for a very long time in generations.
Let's do the selection, please. Thank you so much. And as based on the 6 principles, the Blue Solutions Award comes in timely because Oceans Alive, in collaboration with the Fisheries Department in Kilifi County, have been able to support the BMU to come up with their co-management plan within the revised CMA guidelines. And this is going to be the first one to be piloted within the revised guidelines. So the support of Blue Solutions comes in timely as it's going to support and build the capacity of the BMU executive and the KCWA committee to be able to operationalize their plan, which is a 4-year plan. And therefore, as Oceans Alive, our role is to really strengthen the institutional capacity of the BMU and the KCWA, because we realize that if the institutional capacity is weak, then they'll not have the ability to be able to implement their co-managed plan, because it is targeting around 12,000 hectares within the Kuriti co-managed area, and where now the Tengefu, the community conserved area, is situated. So basically, what the award is going to do, really, the operationalization of the co-management plan by basically focusing on the internal capacity of the BMU and also improving their leadership skills, the executive committee leadership skills. And I would like to mention that the community that you're working with, these are the fisher folk communities. Some have never been to school. They don't know about English or anything about the guidelines. So it is more of a mentorship process, working by doing. And again, what this award will do, it will be able to provide an enabling environment, both technically, legally, for these, the committee plus the BMU assembly to be able to achieve what is stated in the co-management plan. So far, and how was the process? Oceans Alive Trust believes in working together for all of us. So when we won this award, we went back to the community and to the BMU and the executive committee to share the good news, and we planned together. So these activities which are here, these are prioritized activities with the BMU executive plus the fisheries department, because we work as a team. So the first gaps that we identified together with the communities and the BMU, they were able to share. These are the gaps that we have. Since the 8 months we've been in the office, these are the challenges. One, our regulations, some did not understand what it really takes to implement or to work within the BMU guidelines that were approved by the Kenya government. We also supported them to, when we were doing the co-management process, one of the gaps was their constitution, which we worked together with them. And then the code of conduct, and again, an MOU. Why? Because before the BMU guidelines were put across by the Kenya government in 2007, already the KCWA had already established an MPA within the Kuritu co-managed area. So we realized that there are conflicts of ownership. The BMU are saying, we have the rights, you've been given the rights by the government of Kenya to own this place and to manage this place. You are just a CBO. And so we were able to bring the two teams together. And so the MOU will specifically state what is the role of each party, and also the demarcation of boundaries as one of the key areas that they felt should be prioritized. And all that we are in the process of, by October, we are hopeful that that will be done. And then on the mentorship, yes, they've been through trainings, but now these are practical trainings on their landing sites. So they will do practical trainings, mentorship, together with the fisheries department and ourselves, and to ensure that their skills and the leadership skills have been improved. Because what we've also encouraged is them to drive the process. And finally, by the end of October, we are looking forward to see that all the operational BMU bylaws are in place and the constitution, sign a memorandum, the documented code of conduct, updated checklist, which are guided by the 6 CBRNM principles. We are going to also to submit a training report, and also the peer-to-peer teaching aids. And apart from that, all these will be like visual, kind of a film that now can be shared globally and being done by the communities themselves. And why peer-to-peer learning? We have realized that this is one of the strong points. The community can only learn from their peers. And there have been challenges whereby some community members feel it's so difficult to do things. But when they see from their peers they have achieved something, it's always a plus. So on the milestones already, that's what we've already achieved. The bulleted green points, already that is in place. And even as we are here, already trainings are taking place at the community level. So thank you so much for your time, and we do appreciate the support from Blue Solutions, and we are hopeful that that change will be able to be realized. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mercy, Ledama, and Des for this inspiring presentation of the community-led Blue Champions project. And so essentially what you have now heard are all stories of uptake. So what we call uptake is exactly the replication or recreation of solutions and existing knowledge to another context, or scaling solutions up in another context. So this is also Panorama's mission. We already have 900 plus solutions from all conservation topics on our platform, so we have a vast spectrum of solutions. And what we want to do now is really to spread the awareness that the knowledge is there, and to value the knowledge that practitioners do have, and to generate peer-to-peer exchange, and really avoid looking for perfect solutions which are already there. And for that, I'm very happy to introduce Panorama's newest digital feature, which is the Uptake feature. And that is exactly to celebrate blue champions, such as we have heard today, which are learning from peers and implementing existing solutions. So without going into much detail, we have prepared a video which will showcase our newest Uptake feature.
Panorama's Uptake stories. We face enormous challenges in the conservation and sustainable development of our natural ecosystems. Challenges that can often feel daunting or impossible to overcome. But there are solutions being enacted around the globe if we know where to look. We don't have to reinvent the wheel if we learn from each other's successes. Panorama is a global partnership initiative where practitioners can share and learn from inspiring, replicable solutions across a range of nature conservation and sustainable development topics, enabling cross-sectoral learning and success upscaling. Panorama's unique feature, Uptake Stories, collects stories of practitioners who were inspired by a solution or building block from the Panorama community and adapted it for their own local context. By recognizing how practitioners around the world successfully transferred or upscaled existing solutions, Uptake Stories promotes peer-to-peer exchange and global knowledge sharing. Take Anna, for instance. Anna is a practitioner working to preserve and restore the boreal forest in British Columbia. Instead of developing her own solution from scratch, which would have taken time and uncertainty, Anna used Panorama to learn about an existing solution from Ashik, who protects the Chilgosa forest in Pakistan. Learning from the work Ashik had already done in his community, Anna was able to make more effective impact in her own community. This is just one Uptake story, and all over the world there are hundreds more. Sharing your own Uptake story helps other practitioners gain the knowledge and confidence to try solutions themselves. It helps us all collaborate to identify enabling factors for success, develop building blocks, and find inspiring solutions to protect our environment and the communities that depend on it. Rather than reinventing the wheel every time, we can build upon it to go even further, faster. Visit panorama.solutions to upload your own Uptake story or read about others' successful application of existing solutions.
So with this, we really invite you to go onto the Panorama platform as a practitioner, look for solutions that you can also implement in your own context and become an Uptake champion, just as we have on stage today. Thank you very much. And with this, I pass to Cécile to open the discussion.
Thank you. So we thought it would be nice to hear from you, from your own experience, and we wanted to get your feedback. Of course, if you have specific questions to our speakers today, please feel free to ask. And otherwise, that was a bit what we are looking for, like how to build active communities. We know that there are many networks of practitioners already existing, but we thought that maybe there are good experience out there on how to really have these networks that are active and proactively sharing best practices. Also, we're wondering if there are enabling conditions for these solutions to be well disseminated and upscaled and transferred, or what are the needs to enhance the peer-to-peer knowledge experience overall. So I don't know if you have specific question now, or if you would like to share experience of yours regarding these these topics. So,
It's working. Okay, yes. Hi. So first of all, congratulations, because they were like really inspiring stories. Congratulations for the work that you are doing also with Panorama and Blue Solution to just showcase this positive example around the world. I think also optimism is what we need, even in marine conservation. You know, sometimes we just have well, most of the visibility and attention is given to the issue that the marine environment is facing, but I think that equal attention should be given to the amazing solution that people are bringing at the local level. So my question is, did you have already example of other realities taking the blue solutions and scaling it up or replicating it, and if you are keeping track also of how a blue solution or a panorama solution is then used in other circumstances. And the second question is, I know that you are also doing leadership training activities. Can you tell us a little bit more about that too?
Thank you for the question. So yes, we actually use this Panorama platform as really a vehicle, because for us, actually for the global, it's really a great way to have everything in one place. Obviously, when we connect with other partners, etc., we try actually, of course, we get into knowledge on new solutions that are existing, and we try to promote so that they are all in one place. I think there are so many things going on, but sometimes it's overwhelming. We don't know anymore where to look at, and what we wanted to do with this Panorama platform was really to have a same format, because of course you can read through website of organization, all the great work they do, but yeah, it takes a lot of time. So we thought this is really like a given template. It's quite short, a bit too short sometimes, but it gives you the essential, and then you also have the contact details of the person, so that you can contact and keep in touch. So that's really the idea. But I would say, I don't know if it totally answers your question, more or less. But the second one was the leadership.
Yes, thank you for asking about the leadership training. So this is one of our newest trainings we did, and it's a training to not only talk about the technical skills, but also the soft skills needed to really implement, for example, marine spatial planning processes after a training. So we did a test run with Namibia, and are looking forward to do several other test runs. But if you want to know more about the Blue Leadership Training, we really invite you to come to the capacity development booth tomorrow, which our colleague Eric Rosalazar will host. It's at 10 a.m. Capacity development booth, Papaco, Hall 3, or for participants joining online. Unfortunately, it's only in person, but on our Blue Solutions website there's also information on this. And unfortunately, I think we ran out of time. So we close the discussion round now, but we invite you to contact us anytime for further questions. Thank you very much.